Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, KGFL Creations. Today, I'm not gonna say too much. I want to get straight into the computer so I can do the spin for the fabric wheel of fate. It will be spin number 4, and I still have all of these fabrics here, fabric 3, 1, and 5. So let's get in to see which one is going to be the next one that I'm going to sew. Time for another spin. Let's shuffle. Just in case, right? Let's do a little shuffle. Let's hit the button. Let's see what next fabric will be in the fabric wheel of fate. All right, this was a quick one. There are not that many numbers, so it is number 3. Well, I was not lucky this time. Oh my goodness, I did not get a break. Fabric number 3, the other eyelet. So I'm going to do 2 eyelets in a row. Oh my goodness, my goodness. So I'm removing my little sticker of fabric number 3. So I'm going to be using this fabric here. Let's just open it so you guys can see it. Don't know what I'm going to do with this. It's a nice little little green and beigey fabric. It's pretty. And if I make a blouse, I might not even do lining on it, because I can wear just with, I have one of those under shirts, you know, with a beige little top that I can put under, a little cami, you know what I'm talking about. So if I do a blouse, I might just forego of the lining on this one. So yeah, wish me luck on what I'm going to do with this. All right, I will be back with a new make. I am back after the small little break that I took from the fabric wheel of fate. As you have seen in the beginning of the video, the spin, well, the computer spin landed on the second eyelet, which was fabric number 3. Well, I wasn't too happy about it, but I put this fabric on the wheel, so I made the commitment that I was going to sew it. So here it is. I had a lot of trouble with this fabric, a lot of trouble. But before we get into what trouble I had, I just want to say which pattern I ended up making. I made the Ballad blouse by Love Notions with the flutter sleeves. That's the one I like. I like the one with the flutter sleeves. And this is the version that does not have the shirring up here. My other 2 Ballad blouses, 2? Yeah, I think I made 2 before. I made with the shirring up here. That's the one I really like to make with the shirring, but I was not going to attempt to do the shirring on this fabric here. That was a big no-no for me. So let me tell you what happened. I was in here debating what I was going to do. I had just finished working on the dress for my daughter, and I was debating, and I was like, okay, what am I going to do? So I thought of making the Be Mine by Pattern Emporium. I made 1 blouse out of that pattern, and it was the fabric that arrived. I think it was the December box that arrived in December. Yeah, in the beginning of December, yes. And I made the one with the balloon sleeve, that pretty sleeve. So I was like, okay, I think I'll make that. It'll be, you know, be okay for this one. I mean, this one, I was thinking of making a blouse that I did not want to put any lining in it, because I did not like the lining. So I was in here, so I decided to print another pattern, because the other pattern, I felt it was too big. So I decided to print another one with on a smaller size. I printed the size 14 and the 16 together, you know, with the layers. So I'm in here printing, I'm printing, the printer is going, it's going, it's going. Then my husband comes in, he's like, what are you up to? I'm like, well, I think I'm going to make this blouse with this fabric. And he turns to me, he's like, don't do that. That's almost long sleeve. We're getting into summer. You're not gonna wear that. You need to make this one. And he pointed to the Ballad blouse, which is still hanging on my hanger here in the sewing room. And he's like, make this one. This is a pretty one. You've made it before. Make this one. It's good for the summer. It's nice and it's short sleeves. It's just what you like. And I was like, I don't know. I told him, I don't know if I'm gonna do it. He's like, make it with the shirring. I'm like, I'm not going to make the shirring. For sure, I am not going to do that, because this pattern with all of this little embroidery, with all of these little things here, there's no way I can do the shirring on this. So the thing was still printing here, you know, my printer. So I decided, I'm like, you know what? I am going to do the Ballad blouse, the other version. I'll put a little snippet here so you guys can see it. It's the version in the middle of the page, the one with the gather right here. So I decided to do that one with a little gather here instead of doing with the shirring here, because that was no way. And actually, I am very happy with this blouse. It looks really, really nice. I'll just go back a little bit so you can see it. I am wearing a shirt under this. My daughter was telling me that she doesn't like the top because I put the shirt inside my jeans. She thinks that I need to take my shirt out of it because she can see the blue of the shirt here. I mean, from the under the blouse. I don't know if I'll do that, but I am wearing a shirt right here under, and this is what I will wear, you know, when I want to wear this blouse here. So nothing shows because this is a bit see-through, you know, it's a little bit see-through, so, but it's okay. With the Ballad blouse, to make this version here, I needed to reprint the front section here because I had all the other pieces. I had the yoke, I had the sleeves, I had everything else. But this piece right here, it's different from the one with the shirring up here. So when I finished printing the other Be Mine, I printed this and I started to cut the fabric. So I decided, I'm like, I'm going to do it because I had to take a break because I wasn't sure what I was going to make with this fabric. So I went in and I put everything on my table and I started cutting, and then I started seeing, I was like, wow, this is something. I had gold flecks all over my table. It was just like, it was just really, really bad. So I cut everything. Everything was cut, all the pieces and everything. So I decided, I'm like, okay, let me start sewing. My goodness. I think this fabric is the worst one I have ever encountered. I had gold flecks all over me, all over here, my shorts, my shirt, everything. This thing frayed like nobody's business. It frayed so much. I had never seen anything like it. Anything like it. I did change the needle in my sewing machine. I did put a Microtex needle. I think it was the 7010, the very thin one. I'm like, okay, this is delicate fabric. I am going to just change and put some thin needle. That worked fine. But boy, this fabric was just horrendous. Horrendous. Can I just repeat it? Horrendous to sew with. I am happy that I'm done. I still have 2 yards of this fabric. I had 4 yards in the beginning. This here took about 2 yards. It's what it usually takes. It's almost 2 yards for the Ballad blouse, especially without the shirring. With the shirring, you have to cut a big piece to make your shirring, and then it shrinks, right? And then you cut the pieces up here. But this one, since I did not have to do that, it's a little bit less. But boy, this thing here, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to venture to make something with this. I will debate to see what I'm going to do. If I don't do, I'm just gonna put it back in my stash. I'll put it back there. I'll leave it there nicely looking at me. But I'll see if I'll make something else. I'll ask my daughter if she wants something. At first, I thought it was going to be a bit of scratchy, but actually it is not. It is not scratchy at all. But yeah, I will ask her if she wants something. Maybe I can make a ballad blouse for her with the nice flutter sleeves here. But if I do it, I am not looking forward to handling this fabric ever again. One thing that I forgot to mention that I just want to say it, I added the buttons. I used the same buttons that I used for my other ballad blouse, which is the little clear buttons. Ooh, I'm sure you're not going to be able to see this because of my light. I used the clear buttons. I need to go back to Joann's and see if I can find these buttons. I have not been to Joann's. I said last video I was gonna try to go. I didn't have the time to go. So hopefully this weekend I will be able to go to Joann's and see what happens. Another thing that took me a while took me a while to make this. I had to do a lot of hand stitching with this one. This fabric here did not press well at all. So I just could not press the hems. I had to just kind of fold. I had to do the stitching on the 1/4 inch and then fold and fold again. And I would hand stitch. I would baste pretty much everything. I had to hand baste this whole thing here all the way down before I went in to sew, you know, on the machine, just to make sure that everything was in place. And yeah, this was I will say it again, it was very, very difficult. I ended up not making the buttonholes. I just attached the buttons. I just sewed the buttons down. You know, 1, 2, 3, I put like 7 buttons. Did not make the buttonholes because of all of this embroidery. I did not want to hit any of the embroidery. Can you imagine if I hit something and I had to cut through that? It was just gonna go like psh. So I didn't want to do that. I watched a video Tuesday. It was Izzy's video. Izzy from Dizzy Quilts and Sews. I can never get her channel name right. She was talking about her patina blouse that she was making. She did the full bust adjustment using the Nancy Zeman and all of that and this and that. And she was saying that she did not make the buttonholes. So up until that time, I still had not decided if I was going to make the buttonholes or not. So I watched her video. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna put the buttons on and I'm not going to make buttonholes. So that's what I did. Yeah, I just put the buttons on and that's it. I don't need it to put it on because this is pretty wide. All I have to do is just put it on and that's it. No problem. So buttonholes are not needed. Yeah, I mean, it turned out really, really pretty. It is really, really pretty, but it was a nightmare to make this. So yeah, I will cherish this for a long time with all the sweat that I went through to make this little blouse here. I am getting close to the end of the Fabric Wheel of Fate. I only have 2 fabrics left over. I have fabric number 1, which is this floral. Let's see if I can open it here. This floral here. This was a fabric from the Think Pink subscription box. The Think Pink subscription box. So this is fabric number 1. And this rib knit here is fabric number 5. My daughter purchased this from Joann's a long time ago. So this has been sitting there. So now I am going to go into the computer and do pretty much, this is the last spin. Yeah, this is the last spin. I am glad to be at the end. So whatever fabric lands on will be Fabric Wheel of Fate number 5, the first one, and Fabric Wheel of Fate number 6, whichever one of these two will land. All right, you guys, I am done here for today. I just showed you the last make of the Fabric Wheel of Fate. I wanted to thank Carole for starting the hashtag Fabric Wheel of Fate and allowing all of us to join her in this fun little project where we put whatever fabrics we have not been sewing. It's been sitting in the stash for a while, and that will make us, yes, we make the commitment, and that will make us sew whatever it is that the wheel selects for that one particular week. So thank you, Carole. So if you guys liked this video, can you please hit that like button below? And if you can also subscribe, it will mean a lot to me. Now I'm going to go and spin, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.